I'm going to ask a question about retirement and investments. I thought I'd retire at age 55 and well beyond that. I met a fellow a couple months ago who's in his 70s, and he's managing 145 companies. And he's got problems with his succession and retirement plan. We have lots of investment advisors in here. There's some new investment products out to help farmers retire. Can you give us your thoughts on your retirement plans and your investment strategies? Is it just the farm, or are you looking at investments beyond the farm for your retirement?
I wish I could be thinking of retirement. That'd be nice right about now. But I started at an early age, RRSPs, those type of things, putting aside some money outside of agriculture. I think that's always important, and I'll continue to do so. The farm is always, I don't think it's a bad place to stick money, especially if you're buying land, that type of thing. It's never a bad investment, I don't think. So,
for those of you who read grain news, and I do, you're familiar with a gentleman by the name of Ernie Sersky, who talked about off-farm investing in that paper. So for you financial advisors, you're maybe familiar with that idea anyway of a five-legged stool instead of a three-legged stool, where you have an off-farm job, where you have RSPs, you have all those other things. And so I'm a big believer in that, having those other things off the farm. But the other thing is, as I think I've said to you earlier, is that I hope that I'm not one that will be selling the farm. When the time comes that I don't want to, or I'm unable to farm anymore, I'm hoping very much that you can just rent out the farm, have an income from the farm, and be able to capture the capital gains in farmland myself.
I don't know what that is. I don't plan on retiring anytime in the near future. I do plan on stepping back and being less of a decision maker. Of course, my brothers would probably tell you that I don't make any decisions anyway, so. I think that you put yourself in a position where you have enough income and outside income that you can retire in case, due to health reasons, due to family reasons, that you're forced to retire. You're not able to work like you used to. I think you have to be prepared. You have to have a package of life insurance. You have to have a package of RSPs and investments. You need to have other types of strategies in your agricultural portfolio. Land is a great investment, and it has been one of the great investments that people can be into. So market to land. Probably land is better to have in your portfolio. And remember that it is a portfolio, and it's return on investments that you can retire and live off of.
Farm sizes have grown a lot in the last 20 years. 20, 30, 40 years ago, there was a large number of small farms that were price takers. They had no control over their input costs, no control over the prices they took for their product. Farmers, and also there was a lot of expertise 20, 30 years ago. The skill set that you guys have was more common than it is today. Do you guys, and so the local elevator agent or the local fertilizer seller, whoever sold you your supplies, had more clients then than he does today, and the buyers of the grain have had a lot of small clients. You guys are becoming big clients. Do you see any advantages as you guys grow and become larger that you're having a bit more control over the prices that you get for your product and the prices that you pay for your inputs? And the skill set that you guys have, because of the shift of the population moving from the country to the city, and that's been going on since Canada's formed, your skill set is becoming more and more scarce, like Jim mentioned about accountants. And I think down the road you guys are going to be paid for that. And I just want to know if you agree or disagree. So I guess my question is, do you think that your skill set is going to become more profitable because there's less guys that have that skill set that you guys have? And do you see that because farmers are getting fewer and larger, are you guys getting more control over your inputs and the price that you get? Because you're becoming more important to the guy that buys your grain. If you go somewhere else and he loses that 18,000 acres, 4,000 acres. The fertilizer bills you guys and the input bills you guys have, plus the grains you sell, is huge compared to the small farm. The average farm was 7 quarters 20 years ago. So, you think you're going to be able to? Are you guys able to take advantage of that today? And do you see that becoming more important down the road, and you becoming more of a chain captain than our price taker like you have in the past?
I think definitely as the farmer's growing, you do get cheaper, a little bit cheaper fertilizer, a little bit better grain prices, but those amounts that you do get at the end of the day don't add up to a whole lot. Every little bit helps, right? But they're not a significant. Like, it's not $100 a ton better on fertilizer. It's not 50 cents a bushel better on canola. You still got to be out there marketing yourself. And I know for myself now, I buy some fertilizer from one company and this company, and some grain goes this way, some grain goes that way. I just don't deal with my local. Like, when I first started farming, and I guess that was my dad's way maybe, is everything was dealt through your local elevator. Sold all the grain there, bottled the fertilizer there. Even though you shopped around for prices, you'd go in and you'd say, well, can you match this price? And the way I do business now with most of them is I tell them, I say, give me your best price right away. If it's better down the road, I'm going down the road. So I don't have time to phone this guy and then see what his price is and then go down the road and ask what his price is and go back to the other guy and say, well, I could get it cheaper down there. I just, basically whoever offers me the best price, I guess they have a rough idea of how many acres you're covering, that type of thing. So I think that aspect, it's pretty minuscule. As for my skill set, I consider that down the future. Yeah, I think that's going to be a valuable asset, especially for somebody my age. There's not very many 30-year-old farmers in the province, I think there's a few more maybe came online in the last couple of years when things look pretty rosy. But I think that's what could happen to my farm down the road is maybe all of a sudden somebody else is owning it or taking all the risk, and I'm running it for them, and they're taking all the risk. And if they pay me well enough to do that, then that's definitely an option.
Yeah, if I was a young pup like Daryl, I think my skill sets would be worth a lot in the future, but I'll have to be farming when I'm 90 for that to happen, I think. It will happen, I think, and especially for someone that's Daryl's age or younger, but there's quite a cohort of people that are my age that were dumb enough to start farming, so probably won't happen for me. I got to go a little bit off a little bit on what you were asking, I think, because no, I don't see any advantage to being a big farmer. Man, I farm 4 or 5 times what my father did, but wherever he went to buy chemical or to sell grain, they knew his name. 2/3 of the elevators I pull into, they don't even know who the heck I am. Could care less. The problem I see in declining farm numbers, farm populations, is more on the political side because we have no political clout. And to back up a little bit, for me, for a lot of years, the property tax issue was a big issue because, of course, I paid a lot of property education tax on the farmland that I own. And that's been addressed now for a few years. What I'm trying to say is that as farmers become fewer, their political voice becomes quieter, and I think that whatever few pennies we might save on inputs or selling our products, it's gonna cost us dollars on things like of a political nature.
Thanks, Dwight. I'm not so sure that size of farm has any bearing, to tell you the truth. We're classified as a big farmer. We farm in an 8 by 12 mile block. How big is that compared to the province of Saskatchewan? So, yes, we get some economies of scale and discounts, but at the end of the day, it's supply and demand is going to dictate the prices that you get and the prices that you pay. Prime example, durum. We're big durum producers, so we have lots of durum sitting in storage, but there's been big crops of durum over the last 3 years. So where's the price? It's not worth what it used to be. Potash is a good example of what it was worth yesterday and what it is today. Are two different things. It's supply and demand. Somebody wants to hold off and try and see who blinks first. we'll get it at cheaper or get it at more expensive. So it's planning is what you have to come and be more concerned with, is that you need to plan out a year. We do our crop plan. We probably have a crop plan that's 80% to 90% accurate for the next 4 years out. So it's planning out the future so that you can take advantage of price. Because if you see price going up, you're going to buy. As far as inputs are, if you see price going down, you're going to hold off. So it's in that supply demand and being educated and observe what's going on around you.